Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, it is time for my monthly anti-haul. Perfect way to kick off the weekend, talking about how I am not going to waste my money on things that I don't need. For those of you who have never seen an anti-haul, they are all over the internet. I am not the one who came up with the idea. I was not that creative, but I really appreciate them and the sentiment behind them. Basically, as opposed to sitting down and sharing a haul of products I bought, we're going to sit down and share a bunch of products that I am actually not going to be purchasing for the next month. Usually these are new beauty launches that are kind of really hyped up right now that everybody is talking about, and for one reason or another, I've decided that I'm not going to buy them. This is not to say that I think these products are bad or that you are a bad person. If you personally want to buy them, I have no problem. You should be able to buy whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. I just feel like it's important to kind of put it out there that we don't all need to own everything, especially if you are someone that's a fellow beauty influencer and there's a lot of pressure to buy every new product and review every new product. You don't have to do that. So I think there's something liberating kind of coming out and just sharing why a particular product doesn't call to you or why you decided to pass something over. So that's what we're going to do today. But again, absolutely zero shade to any of you who want these products, who have already bought these products. That is great. These are just my opinions and I have my specific reasons why they're not worth it for me. Before we get into the actual anti-haul, I just want to say hi and welcome to any of you who are new to my channel. My name is Lauren. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out and chatting beauty with me. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then on Saturday I do shopping vlogs, so if you want to come hang out with me while I run around in the world and window shop and look at stuff, that is something I do every weekend and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you click that little subscribe button down below if you want to be kept in the loop with all my new videos. And in the meantime, let's get down to some beauty stuff that I do not need to tempt my wallet with. Not even a little bit. So the first thing, I feel like I should just clump all of these together. We're just gonna round up all of the Too Faced new holiday palettes, all of the new launches that they've released recently, and we're just gonna put a blanket statement down that I'm not going to be buying any of them. They released the new white chocolate bar palette, they released the new chocolate gold palette, and then they released the clover palette. All three of them retail for $49. They're in the nice little like metal tin packaging like the original chocolate bar and the sweet peach palette. And basically there's a couple of reasons why I'm not going to be buying these. Number one, I don't need them. I definitely have other eyeshadow palettes in my collection that have all of these colors. I already am familiar with Too Faced formula, so I don't feel like I necessarily need to buy them to review Too Faced to be introduced to them as a brand. Right now, I really don't need any more eyeshadow palettes, but if I'm gonna buy an eyeshadow palette, I'd rather buy one from a brand that I don't know and have like no experience with because I'm trying to better understand the brand. So I really like, there's no real reason, I have no real need to buy these aside from the fact that they're new and they're pretty and everybody is talking about them, and I just don't want to personally be bought into the hype. Also, the white chocolate bar palette, I already own the white chocolate chip palette and I don't really even use it, to be honest. I got it last year in the holiday season and I used it I think at the beginning of this year for a little while, but then I kind of put it away in the drawer, and honestly it gets more work as a prop in my like Instagram pictures than it actually does being used on my face. So I definitely know that the big white chocolate bar palette is not something that I need to buy because I'm definitely not going to get enough use out of it. Of the three, I think the Clover palette probably would be the one that calls to me most. I like the fact that they're supporting an organization that's giving back to animals, so I think that that is cool. And I actually kind of like the colors. I know a lot of people have talked about the fact that the color selection in the Clover palette looks kind of crazy and random. I don't really think it's actually that random. You have a bunch of neutrals, mattes, things you can use for transitions, then you have some fun pops of color if you want to like add a little something to the lower lash line or do a little accent. I actually kind of like having something to spice things up, so I think the Clover palette's actually getting a lot of unfair, negative, like anti-hype, if you will, that it doesn't really like deserve per se. I just know that for $50 of my money, I could definitely spend it better elsewhere because I definitely need to declutter the eyeshadow palettes I already have. I'm not using them all to their fullest extent, so I don't need to add more to the collection. The next product that I am not going to buy is from Benefit. And to be honest, I haven't really had a desire to buy a Benefit product in a really long time. When I first started blogging, I was really into them because I hadn't tried any of their products, and I was always picking up their sampler kits and trying everything. So I think I almost got a little burned out. Like, I kind of have used everything in their baseline, like all their most popular products, been there, done that. There's some good stuff, but generally they're not like my absolute favorite brand. So they just released a new version of their Professional Primer that is like a shimmery version. What is it called? It is the Benefit Professional Pearl Primer. This retails for $31. Now, I actually do like the Benefit Professional Primer, the original one. That's probably one of my favorite products that Benefit has actually made. It's really nice for filling in pores, which I do actually have some pretty large pores right around my nose and on my chin, so I tend to use a pore filling primer just to kind of smooth those areas over. But I don't really feel the need to add anything glowy or radiant under my foundation. I am very oily. I generally tend to shy away from really luminous primers. The other thing, I honestly, this might just be me, so if this is not the case for you, that's totally cool. But for me, especially since I use a lot of full coverage foundations and mattifying foundations, I feel like I don't notice a difference when I put a luminizing primer underneath my makeup, aside from the fact that maybe I get oily faster, you know? Because even if there's shine on my face, I'm putting on the super matte foundation and it just totally blanks out the shine. I mean, if you're using like a very light coverage foundation, then yeah, maybe you'll see some of that radiance from the primer through the foundation, but I don't really feel like it makes a whole lot of sense to use a luminizing primer under a full coverage matte foundation, because I feel like you're not going to see it. So me, knowing myself, knowing what I like, it makes zero sense for me to buy this new Benefit primer or to get excited about it. Another thing that I know I am not going to buy is this new contour palette from Tarte. This is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Chisel Palette. It retails for $46. Now this comes with 6 shades of highlighting and contouring powder. If you've seen any of my previous anti-hauls, you know I am not someone that's a big fan of contouring palettes. I actually own a few of them, but all the ones that I own, I haven't bought with my own money. I either received them in a subscription box or received them as PR. And since I have them, I'll use them, but I've never spent any of my own money on a contouring palette because for me personally, it's just not worth it. I usually end up only using 1 or 2 shades out of typically like 6 that are in the palette, so it just doesn't ever seem worth it to me. I think if you're a makeup artist, having like a true contouring palette probably is a wonderful thing, because if you're working on people of multiple skin tones, it's nice to have options. It's nice to be able to mix colors together to make something perfect for the person that you're working on. But when you just have your own face, if you're doing your own makeup, most likely you need like 1 shade of contour and maybe like 1 shade of bronzer. Maybe, you know, if your skin color changes dramatically from the summer to the winter, you want to have a palette so that way from the whole year round you have different color options to work with. You know, so maybe that's the case and that would be great. But if the darkest shade is not going to work on you during your darkest color of the year, I don't know, maybe it's worth it to you, maybe it's not. I just personally know that spending almost $50 on a contouring palette is not something that makes a lot of sense for me. I would rather spend, like, if I'm going to invest a lot of money, I'd rather spend it in a foundation that I really like or an eyeshadow palette that I really like, but we just went over the fact that I don't need an eyeshadow palette right now. So the packaging looks absolutely gorgeous on this. I do really like Tarte's powder products. I think that they're really nice. So if you're looking for a contouring palette, I'm sure that it's nice. So it's probably worth going and swatching if that's something you want. I just know for me personally, definitely not something that I need. So this next product, all right, to me, this product is just kind of silly, and for the amount of money that it costs, it makes me even more like, no thank you, please. So Glam Glow is known for their mud mask treatments, like their super mud treatment. Now I've tried that before. I've never actually bought it or owned the full size. I've only ever had samples and it works. It's a really good mask. If you have oily skin, if you have like some spotty congestion, maybe like some pimples that are starting to come to the surface, that mask will like detox your face. It makes it really smooth. I definitely have noticed it's helped me clear up breakouts. It's good stuff. But it's $69 and you don't get that much in the little jar, so I have never been able to justify actually going out and buying a Glam Glow mask. But they just released this new mask. So this is called the Gravity Mud Firming Treatment. Now, I don't know for sure, but I think, because I've never tried it, that this is a similar mask to the one that's like silver that you paint on, that's a firming treatment. But instead of being silver, this is a glitter mask. So this is a mask that you like paint on, it's full of glitter, and then you peel it off and it's supposed to like firm your skin. And it's $69. Now, I love me some glitter. Glitter is fun, but to me, honestly, this feels like super floofy. And really, like nothing that's short of like injections in your face is gonna really firm your skin permanently. Like, so maybe you'll get a little firming effect on your skin using this mask temporarily, like if you're going to a special event or something like that. But I don't know, I just feel like it's a lot of money to spend on something that's not going to actually improve the quality of your skin long term. I would much rather buy the original Glam Glow mask than buy this one. Honestly, I feel like the whole appeal is the fact that it's full of glitter and it's pretty and it's fun to look at. It's just the novelty of things. But I think it's kind of a little bit of a gimmick. I haven't tried it, so I can't say. I don't really need firming. Like, my skin is still very young, so that's not a concern that I have at this point in my life. But, I mean, if you want to try it, give it a whirl. I just feel like, no, I am not going to be sucked into the hype of this. If I wasn't going to buy the mask that I knew that I liked, I definitely don't need the glittery one. Continuing on the skincare train for a moment, and also gimmicky products. So Boscia makes these jelly ball cleansers. You may have seen some reviews on them. They just released a new one called the Tsubaki jelly ball cleanser. I think it's $20 and it's pink. The original one was black. Either way, I do not need to buy these ball cleansers. Alright, so I've used Boscia cleansers in the past, and I do think the Purifying Gel Cleanser and the black cleanser, like, they're nice. They're pretty good. They're a little bit drying now that I've tried some other cleansers that I've found actually are a little bit less so. But, like, I have been a really big fan of Boscia products in the past. The thing about this cleanser, I've seen some reviews, I've seen some first impression videos, and people generally seem to really like it. The problem is I haven't seen a lot of people report back 3-4 weeks later as to what happens when you're using it long term. The only person that's done this is Jen from Jen Loves Reviews, and this is why I love her, because she always keeps it real and she always keeps things back in perspective. And she was basically saying that she got this, she liked it when she used it like once, but then over time, they don't give you any kind of case or anything to store it in aside from like the plastic packaging that it comes in when you buy it, which is not airtight. So basically the little jelly ball starts to dry out, it shrinks, it kind of gets weird, the cleanser gets all over the plastic, it's a mess, it gets kind of grimy and gross, and generally she was like, I would not repurchase this even though I liked it after one use. Long term, it just kind of gets nasty and dried up and it's not really as fun. Like, the novelty wears off pretty quickly because it's not that fresh jelly ball cleanser anymore. And yes, it's $20, which is like, for a high-end brand, not as bad as it could be, but it's still a lot of money for something that's not going to last a really long time. Like, I love my Derma E cleansers. I can get those on sale for like, I don't know, less than $15, and those will last me months and months and months because it's just a regular, you know, gel cleanser. So I think for me, I'm going to stick to the cleansers that I have. I am not going to buy this because I feel like it's not very practical, and it will probably end up being something I would regret purchasing in the long run. So these next couple of products are from a brand that I do really like. And the only reason I'm kind of glad I'm not tempted to buy them is purely because I don't need to be spending money. So in a way, I'm kind of like glad that this was an easy decision for me to make, because normally I really like her stuff and I kind of I'm happy I'm not tempted. So Kat Von D just released, or well, she is releasing a mini version of her Metal Matte palette. So I have the original. I got this last year, I think, during the holiday season, so I think I got this in October. This thing is a little like over a year old now, but this palette, man, this was amazing. This is one of my favorite palettes. I don't really talk about it because it was limited edition. You can't get it anymore, so I don't really like to use limited edition products on my channel that y'all can't go on and buy. This thing is beautiful though. I think this was probably the best palette for the holiday season. They released last year from any brand. It was like $60, but what you get is insane. You get a ton of matte eyeshadows in like a rainbow of colors. You get a ton of her Metal Crush eyeshadows, again in a rainbow of colors. And you basically could just create so many cool artistic looks with this palette. The formula of both eyeshadows are fantastic. I use this for Halloween looks. I use this for a bunch of different things. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. So she's releasing a mini version of this palette. I believe it has like 6 matte shades and like 5 or 6 or 5 of the Metal Crush eyeshadows. Basically, the colors that she chose are pretty much duplicates of what's already in here, and it mainly is like this portion right here of the palette. I'm pretty sure you still have like fringe, feather, oak, suede, bone, like these colors here are going to be in the little mini palette. I think there are going to be some differences in the metal matte shadows that she's including. There are going to be some that are from her permanent collection that aren't in here. But generally speaking, the bottom line is that I have this already. I don't need the little mini version when the shades are very much the same. I think the new palette will be nice for those of you who didn't get this. But the only downside is you're not getting all these really cool tone shades that you are in the full version. I know warm tones are really hot right now, but everybody's doing neutrals and warm tones, so I feel like it's a little overdone right now. So you may already have eyeshadows that are very similar to the mini metal matte palette, so it may not be appealing to you. The formula is great, so if you love the colors, I can vouch for the fact that if it's the same as this one was amazing. So the mini one, if it's the same, should be also wonderful. I don't need it for any reason because I already got this bad boy and I love it, so I'm set. And then Kat also released this trio of highlighters. It's like a little trio highlighter palette. It's called the Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter Palette. It retails for $36. And I'm not going to buy this. In my previous anti-hauls, I've talked about the fact that I'm not really a big fan of colorful highlighters, and these are more colorful, intensely metallic shades. They look almost glittery. I haven't actually swatched the palette, so I can't really say for what they will look like in person. I just know right now I'm on like highlighter overload as it is. I have plenty of options. I have no shortage. I'm good. I just got a Becca highlighter in a BoxyCharm recently, like I think, and I just got one in this Ophir palette that I hauled. If you saw my video on Wednesday, I talked about all the products I'm going to be testing for the month of December. There's a highlighter in one of those palettes, so I know I am good, and I really don't need to be spending my money on this. I think that if you really enjoy fun, colorful highlighters, maybe it will be worth it to you. I mean, it's still kind of a lot to spend on only 3 highlighters. I think the Anastasia Glow Kits are similarly priced, but you get 4 or more shades, so I don't know which one is more worth it. Side note, just want to put this little caveat out there because that just reminded me of something. So obviously it's the holiday season. A lot of stuff right now is going on sale or going on these like crazy one-day sales at Ulta or at Sephora. And just as a little aside, because this is an anti-haul, I am basically not going to let myself buy anything this month just because it's on sale if I wouldn't have bought it full price to begin with. I think it's so tempting during this time of year when you see something that's a good deal to just want to go and buy it because the price is great. But if you weren't really thinking about buying it before, odds are you probably aren't going to necessarily like use it or love it as much. Like you're really buying it for the sticker shock value. Like, oh my god, this is an amazing deal. Like, this is how I felt about the Anastasia Glow Kits. I don't own any of them, and I do like some Anastasia Beverly Hills products. Like, it's nothing against her brand at all. It's just, I don't need that many highlighters. It's not something that I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of. I kind of am very particular about the shades I like. I have a bunch of singles. I'm good. So to me, a glow kit was something like, I don't really need that. So a bunch of them went on sale at Sephora for like under $30. They were really, really good price, but I didn't buy any of them because it's like, why would I buy the Moonchild Glow Kit when I was just talking about the fact that I don't need it because I don't like weirdly colored highlighters. So just putting that out there to you guys, And this is why I like to do anti-hauls. Just really think before you buy. Is this something I need? Is this something I'm going to use? Is this something like I really, really want? Or am I just buying it because it's hyped? I'm just buying it because it's on sale and it's a great price and I'm like, wow, that's normally $50, it's on sale for $25. How can I pass up the deal? Well, you're still spending $25 of your own money on something that you might not end up using and is going to collect dust in a drawer. So just as a little thing to keep in mind, I've been trying to be myself better and more disciplined about just kind of ignoring and glossing over a lot of these sales because I know I just don't need it. So I have a pretty long list here, but I think I'm just going to share one more thing off of it so you guys aren't here for like 3 hours listening to me rant about products. So one last product that I know I'm not going to be buying is the Urban Decay Distortion Palette. So this just released recently. It retails for $48, and I don't remember how many shades this one has. The general concept of this palette is kind of cool. You have 2 rows of colors of eyeshadows, so they're just normal eyeshadows. And then the top row are all transforming shades. So they're all like an iridescent duochromatic formula. And the idea is that you use those shades to distort or transform the other colors to create cool custom shades. I think the idea is neat. I think that if you're someone that really enjoys doing super creative makeup looks, if you're a makeup artist, if you're someone that's just really like into the whole iridescent holographic makeup glitter trend, maybe this will be something that you're really into. If you already own the Kat Von D Alchemist palette, I sort of feel like, I don't know why you would need the Urban Decay one, because that basically is an entire palette of those transforming shades and they're meant to be used for your eyes or your face. So odds are you could just use that over your existing eyeshadows. Like that was kind of Kat Von D's whole thing with the Alchemist palette. So I feel like Urban Decay is just kind of jumping on that trend because it's obviously something that's popular. They're doing their own spin on things by kind of making one comprehensive palette. I get it, that's cool, but I know I don't need it because I'm not going to get that much use out of it. I guarantee you, I feel like for a week I'd be like, ooh, iridescent eyeshadows, and I'd come up with some cool looks, and then it would be collecting dust because I don't think I would wear those kind of eyeshadow looks every day. And I know that if I just was going to use the bottom portion, like I have those colors already in other palettes, so I don't really need them. Like the whole point of the distortion palette is for the iridescent transforming shades, and I just don't think I'm going to get enough use out of them because that's not really my jam. So that's it for this month's anti-haul. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me and chatting about beauty I don't want to buy. I hope this video was informative, motivating, inspiring in some way, shape, or another, and I hope that you did not take offense if I was talking about some product that you love that I don't want to buy. Again, it's your money. Do what you want with it. Do what makes you happy. I just am here to kind of share my own 2 cents and to just encourage everyone to think smart about what they're buying and think long term, like 3 months from now or 6 months from now. Do I really think I'll see myself still reaching for this product that I'm about to spend my money on? So just want to get the gears turning. That's what I'm here for. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy anti-hauls, please give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate your support. And again, if you're not already subscribed, click that button before you go. If you want to know when I'm uploading, I should be uploading again tomorrow. Going shopping somewhere. Here I am talking about anti-haul, not buying things, and then every Saturday I do shopping vlogs. I don't always buy stuff when I go shopping. I'm more just kind of going out, having fun, looking at what's in the stores, and just kind of enjoying myself and taking you guys along for the ride. So I know it seems a little like counterintuitive, but anyway, it should be fun. So thank you guys so much again for watching. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.